Well, hello again, folks. Another week in local government. This should have been NAIDOC week, but as we're all aware, because of the COVID-19 crisis, it's been postponed till later in the year. But I really did want to talk about the significance of our Indigenous or First Nations councils. There are 17 of them in Queensland, and Queensland's fairly unique in that regard, with the exception of the Northern Territory. No other state has councils that are purely Indigenous councils. That's not to forget there are many communities in Queensland with very significant Indigenous populations, people of either Aboriginal or Torres Strait Island descent. One in every 4.5 of the LGAQ members is an Indigenous First Nations council. We believe we're a much richer, a much more vibrant, a much more representative body by virtue of the fact those folks are such a big part of our local government family in Queensland. Importantly, we're holding our first Indigenous Leaders Forum on the 31st of July. That'll be our first chance to get all of our new Indigenous mayors, councillors, CEOs into a virtual meeting space at least and have a talk about the really important issues for those communities. President Mayor Mark Jamieson and I will also be on the road through July. We'll be visiting councils in the Gulf and the Cape, and it's an opportunity for us to start to catch up with our members now that the travel restrictions have been largely lifted. I just want to thank my LGAQ colleagues this week who have been out on the road visiting councillors in the Midwest, Central West, Southwest. We've had a staff out in a lot of places, and over the coming months, particularly now that we started elected member updates, expect to see LGAQ people turning up pretty regularly to have a yarn about you and your council. And a really big thank you, call out to the fantastic work our Indigenous councils have done combating COVID. As we know, our First Nations people unfortunately often live in poor health circumstances and they are more susceptible to disease, and we are so grateful for the work they've done. They've done a mighty job keeping their borders safe, keeping their people safe, and providing local leadership through this difficult time. It's hard for them to have been locked down. That's been a burden that they've carried more than any other community, but equally they've kept those communities afloat, together, and they've avoided anyone having a COVID infection. Well done to them.